Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Alex, and today I'm giving sort of an advanced tutorial for the song Stairway to Heaven, the intro to it. So let's get right into it. This song was actually requested by Joseph Halton on my TikTok. So yeah, he just really wanted to learn how to play this. So I'm hoping that like all of you guys can comment, and if you want to play a certain song that I know how to play, or if I don't know how to play, I'll learn it and then I'll try and post a tutorial for you. I just want to help you guys learn the guitar. So yeah, be sure to follow me on there. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. All right, so you don't need a capo at all. What you do is you put your ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string, and then you pluck that, and then you bar the bottom 3 strings on the 5th fret, like those 3. But so you go, and then you go down on the 5th fret with the G, B, E, and then you put your pointer finger on the D string, so the 3rd string from the top on the 5th fret, and then your ring finger on the high E string or the lowest string on the 7th fret, and then you strum those at the same time. And then you bar those 3 again on the 5th fret, and you go B string, G string. Then you put your ring finger back on the 7th fret of the high E string. And then you basically do the same thing you did here, but instead you move your ring finger down to the 8th fret. And then you go B, G, and then hit that again on the 8th fret on the lowest string. So in all, it's and then after you're done with that part, then you go up to the 2nd and 4th frets. You put your pointer finger on the lowest string, the high E string, on the 2nd fret, and then your ring finger on the 4th fret of the D string, and you pluck those at the same time. Then your ring finger move up to the 3rd fret on the B string, pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. So it'd be like, and then you're barring those 3 on the second fret. It makes it easier. And then you hit the high E string on that again. So up here it would be, now you put your middle finger on the D string of the 3rd fret, and then you strum that as long, also with the open high E string. So in all, it's and then, so now you put your pointer finger on the 1st fret of the B string, so the 2nd string from the bottom, and then you put your, to make it easier, you put your middle finger 1 string above that, so the G string on the 2nd fret, and then you strum the B, then back to the B, so, then open E, then back to the same position you were just at, strum the B again, then G. So it'd be, and then after that, you put you strum the B and the G string open. So and then you put your fingers down in that same position they were just in. So your pointer on the B string and your middle finger on the G string. And you strum it twice, those 2 strings. So in all, for that first part, it's a little challenging, but it would be. All right. And that's pretty like cool to play. So if you can get that far, then that's great. But if you want to learn the rest, then stay tuned for the rest of the video. So now for that little kind of like, what you do is you strum the A string open, so the second string from the top, and you hammer on to the second fret. And right after so you only strum this once, and then as you hammer on, then you slide down to the 8th fret and then back up to the 7th fret. So it'd be. So now after you're done with, you play it open, that same A string, and then you put your ring finger on the D string of the 7th fret. You strum it, then you bar those bottom 3 again on the 5th fret, and you go down, but you don't go down to the high E string. You don't do that like you did originally. It's just so. And then instead of putting your pointer finger on the 5th fret and playing, you would put your middle finger on that same string, the G string, or the D string on the 6th fret, and you put your ring finger on the high E string of the 7th fret, and then you strum those together. And then pointer finger back up, you go B, G, high E string on the 7th fret, and then pointer finger on the D string of the 5th fret, ring finger on the 8th fret of the lowest string, and then back G, B, G, and you hit the high E string of the 8th fret. So in all, that part is. And then you go back up and you play that same part that you played before. So it's like. So if you don't really remember how to play that part, the part up here, then you can go back in the video a little bit and you'll be able to see. So I know this is like really confusing, but it's a tough song. Like, it's very tough, but if you know how to play it, I think it sounds great. It sounds really cool. So after you're done with that part, which I think is like one of the hardest parts, you go up here, and now this is the part where you go. So for that, you put your you strum the second lowest from the top, so the A string, open. Then you put your pointer finger down on the 2nd fret, strum it. Then middle finger 1 fret below that on the same string, 3rd. So, and then you move your pointer finger to the 2nd fret of the D string. You go. So then you play the 1 string below that, the G string open. Then you play the high E string open. So it'd be. Then you put your pointer finger on the high E string after you played it open, and you also strum the D string open at the same time. So then. So you put your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, then pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. Then you bar that, so you cover the high E string, which you're also playing. So. And then now you put your your middle finger on the D string of the 3rd fret. So you're strumming that, but also with the high E string at the same time. So. And then you go to the top. So you you put your pointer finger on the first fret of the B string, the second lowest string. Then you hit your middle finger one string above that, so the G string on the second fret. Then you play the high E string open, and then the B string open, but you hammer onto the first fret. And then you go back to the second fret of the G string. So in all, that part is. And then back to that beginning part. But now you go to your pointer finger on the B string of the first fret. And then you use your thumb a little bit if you want. It doesn't really matter but you want to strum the low E string and the high E string at the same time. You might not even you don't need your thumb if you really don't want to, but you put your middle finger on the third fret of the high E string, the low string. But I always put my thumb there to hold it on the third fret. So then you just strum the B and the G string open, then the high E string again on the third fret. So after you go. Then you strum that again, but you hammer on, so you take off your finger and you hammer on to the second fret. And then you keep your pointer finger there, and you put your middle finger back on the third fret, but of the B string. And then you strum that twice. So. So that part is pretty challenging, I would say, but I'll play it one more time really slow. So now you play the first part up here that I showed you, which is so you can go back and look at that first part that I did where it's like that one where it ends with that. You play that again. And so then now the next part, the last part of this intro is definitely a lot easier. You would go. So you do the same thing again where it's like with the A string and then the D string, open G, pointer finger on the B string of the first fret. Then you play an open D string, pointer finger down on the G string of the second fret, and then you can put any finger really you want on here. It'd probably be easier. You're almost going into a D chord, but you would put your ring finger down or middle finger, doesn't matter. I think I always put my middle finger down on the B string of the third fret, and then pointer finger on the high E string of the second fret. So. And then you just play a C chord 3 times. Which, in case you don't know, a C chord is when you put your pointer finger down on the B string, second string from the bottom on the first fret, and then your middle finger on the D string of the second fret, and then your ring finger one string above that on the A string of the third fret, and then you strum all 6 strings. So I normally just strum like the bottom 5 for some reason, but I don't really like that open sound here for that. So yeah, that's it. I know it was a really tough tutorial, but definitely go back in the video if you want to see like, or if you want to practice certain parts and like that. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I'll play it one more time, really, really slow. All right, so hopefully you guys could follow along when I was playing it a lot slower. I know it's definitely challenging, but definitely keep practicing. And like I said before, let me know if you have any questions. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Make sure to follow my TikTok at 2ATM0 and Instagram at 2ATM0. On my TikTok, I usually post a lot of like guitar videos and art stuff. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.